All right. We are live. Welcome, Brutal Planet people. And today we got someone new with us. We got Brian from Texas. He's part of the crew and has been for a long time. Say hello, Brian.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Yeah, so today is Dimebag's birthday, Dimebag Darrell's birthday from Pantera. And we have the band October Noir coming on in about 25 minutes or so. Today was the only day that they could do a live thing, so we set this up. I mean, I've done a couple of the live streams on a Sunday, like Sunday morning coffee style, so it felt like a good day. And it is Dimebag's birthday, so it should be a national holiday. I'm gonna move over here a little bit.
You know, what's weird is the Metallica takeover weekends here in Dallas Fort Worth. And so as soon as I saw they return and I saw the dates, I'm like, the promoters should have put, the
Dime birthday bash
on today, but they played, let's see, they played Friday night. And then, today is, or yesterday was the off day. And so they had different takeover events throughout the DFW area. And so then today is Metallica and Five Finger Death Punch, I think. But it would have been great if they would have had Phil and Rex, Charlie and Zach today instead of
do a Dime birthday.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but I don't know.
They're here next week. They're in LA on Friday. I'm not like, I still don't have tickets, and I was telling my son today, I'm like, we got to figure out how to get tickets to that this week. So,
well, they played at Jerry World, AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play, and they outdrew Taylor Swift because of the way everything was set up. They had 100,000 in their Friday night, according to news reports.
Oh wow! It's because of how Metallica, like you were saying, because Metallica does the full stadium. They have the round stage, so they're not just playing to one side of the stadium, right?
Right.
And that's probably why they outsold Taylor Swift, because she probably only plays to half the stadium.
And they the Rangers, where the Texas Rangers play, is walking distance from the stadium. So that the Rangers were playing Milwaukee Friday night. So just imagine all the people at AT&T Stadium, and then like a quarter mile or maybe quarter mile to half a mile, you've got X amount of people attending a Rangers game. And I'm sure parking was a nightmare.
Yeah. But that would Pantera and Metallica in Dallas. I wonder if my brother lives in Dallas, actually. I don't know if I told you that, but
I did not know that. What part of Dallas?
Like downtown, basically.
Oh, okay.
Both my brothers live in Texas. My other brother's out in Austin. So I visited Dallas my first time about, I think it was like 2017 or 2018. It was a couple years ago.
Yeah, well, definitely don't come right now because we are getting scorched.
This is around the time I went, and holy shit. Like in California, it gets hot, but like it cools off at night. Dallas is like that hot, that heat just never stops. Like
at 10 o'clock at night, it's still 100 degrees.
It does not I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude, it's like the middle of the night and I'm still sweating.
I thought last year was a brutal summer, but last year is nothing compared to this year. I mean, this week we've been in 108, 109, 112. Just
terrible.
Yeah,
we're supposed to get here. We're supposed to get a hurricane.
I saw that.
I don't think it's going to be that bad. My friend texted me last night and was like, "Hey, I hope you're okay." I'm like, bro, this is what the media does. Like, is this water cooler thing? Where I was like, "Oh no, a hurricane's coming to California." I'm like, a hurricane here. It's going to be like heavy rain and some wind, and like people here panic the fuck out when it's like, I grew up in Utah where there's like real weather and stuff. So I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, we can, there's not snow and ice on the road, just water. But yeah, we'll see.
A hurricane in California is not normal. I mean, they'll have them, but they're more normal, coming in from the Atlantic
side. Well, I think what'll happen too is by the time it gets to us, it'll be it's like a category 4, he said, but I think by the time it gets to us, it's going to be a little bit more dead. Like I just don't see it being a massive problem. Like it's cloudy and rainy, but we'll see. I'm crossing my fingers that the power doesn't go. They're sending like power alerts, like just to notice, like there might be outages.
Right.
Yeah.
Are my is my WWE match over here interrupting? Can you hear them?
No, I can't. You're good. You're
Okay,
good.
well they're going at it. Let me see what I have right now. Let me see what the temperature is. I'll tell you the high and the temperature
Okay.
here for Dallas Fort Worth today. Right now it's 103 and the high is going to be 109.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
it is.
I don't know how y'all do it. Good air conditioning.
My AC has been running constantly, but I'm on a monthly billing that it spreads it out, so I'm not getting hit with a massive electric bill.
Yeah.
My electric bill only increased like $10 or $20 actually. But what I have is I have a box fan that's right underneath my thermostat just blowing, because if I don't have that on there, the house sits at 77, even though I might have it set at 76. It sits at 77, but if I don't have that box fan on there, it will the house will be sitting at 80.
Yeah.
And so
Are you a one story?
yes, I am one story. The front of the house faces the west, and so the room I'm in right now, faces south. I've got the blinds down, but I have like a covering over my blinds, so that has helped a little. But this seems to be the coolest room and the warmest room during like summer and winter. So
You got the good setup at least.
yeah, I've got the good setup in here.
My problem is I have air conditioning. Like I live in a condo that was built in like the 70s or the 60s. And so it has central air, but there's an upstairs, and the airports, like the ducts are in the floor upstairs. So it gets super hot upstairs because all the cold air sinks.
Because the cold air is more dense.
Yeah. So like if I run the AC long enough, I'll go upstairs. Like it'll be fine down here, but then my kids are upstairs like sweating and stuff. So I gotta I need to like reimagine that, or I was thinking about they have these like wall mount air conditioner units you can get that you like port to your window at Costco. Yes. I was thinking about doing something like that maybe for the upstairs, but
I've thought about getting like a window unit and just have it sitting on a table in the middle of the house. But those windows units, they'll draw a lot of electricity though.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. My electricity bill goes through the roof in the summer because plus my AC is old. It's like it's one of those old school like big tin in aluminum, whatever.
Right.
So it doesn't work that well, but it's not hot here like it is there either, because I would be going crazy if it was 110 degrees. It's like the hottest it's got this year for me, really. I mean, it's gotten into the hundreds, but it's not as bad as there.
Oh, there was one day this week that when I was driving, the temperature gauge said 112.
Yeah.
It was like, and you drive by the bank, it says 110, 112 or whatever.
Someone was telling me out in Vegas, it got to like 120 recently. So it's, then I see people, I'm not one of those people who trust the government blindly either, but then I see people that like climate change is a hoax. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure that there are people manipulating some of the stats to like get you to, stop eating meat or whatever. I'm sure there's some truth to some of those little conspiracy theories, but like everyone I talk to is like, it's fucking insanely hot. So
in Vegas would be more of a dry heat, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's hot here. Then if we have humidity that day,
yeah.
Oh gosh.
See, that's what drives me crazy about Austin. My dad used to live in Atlanta too. And it's like I'm from Utah, so I'm used to like the dry heat, I can cope with that. But like when you get the moisture in it, that's when it drives me insane.
I was a school teacher for 15 years, and I walked away 2 years ago, and I still keep in contact with the team that I was working with, the other teachers. And I'm sitting here wondering, are they even taking the kids out for recess right now?
Yeah, it's like a liability.
Exactly. It's like
they canceled that Disturb show a couple weeks ago because it was too hot.
Oh, where was that at?
In Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I've been there's an outdoor pavilion, a venue, whatever you want to call it, amphitheater, and a lot of big shows come there. But I will not go cover a show out there in the summer.
It's
It's
too hot.
just no, I just can't do it because I'm wanting to know, do they have a place where the media can go sit down and cool down or whatever? Do we have like a cooling off room? I mean,
Did you see the ads for that show Sick New World that happened with all the metal bands a couple months ago in Vegas?
no, where was that at?
It was in Vegas, but it was
Okay.
like all these new metal bands. It was like System of a Down and Body Count and Korn and Deftones and
Okay.
like all those bands. But the one thing that the people said about it is that they had like they had planned for that. Like they like what you just said. They had like they had free water, so they had like water stations where you could go
Uh-huh.
get free water to drink, and then they had like like shaded areas to sit down and stuff.
Well, I've been noticing at shows recently, going back as far as March for Hell's Heroes in Houston, that inside the barricade they've got water. They got like cases of water. So like in Houston, they had cases of water, and like security would break open and pass them out to the people, on the barricade. Last night I was covering one of the Metallica weekend takeover events, and they had a big old water jug with plastic cups, and they were able to fill water and give it to people on the barricade and stuff like that.
Oh well, we got Tyler signing in right now. They're signing
Hello,
in early.
Tyler.
That's cool. That's great.
I'm hoping my two kiddos here are all nice and
Oh,
relaxed.
they're fine. My mic has like a cutoff too. Tyler, can you hear us?
Oh,
Oh,
there's
there they are. Okay, cool. We got you guys in.
You hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, let me see what's going on with this thing.
I'm actually stoked you guys signed in a little bit early. We usually start like the way we usually do these things is we start them a little bit early and then we have the band come in later on. So I usually start the stream like an hour or half an hour before we invite people. So
You want us to wait till right at 12:30?
no, you're good. This is actually
Okay.
better. This is actually better.
All right, good. Yeah, we try to be a little early that way because sometimes everybody goes over like certain things that they do for their streams and stuff. So
No, it's totally cool, man. I'm totally
nice.
cool.
So welcome. Thank you for taking the time too, you guys.
Yeah.
We just recently started so we Brutal Planet as an entity has existed since like 2019, but we just recently this year started really doing like leaning into this live thing. So we've just been like anyone that we can get to come on, we're like, hey, please come talk to us,
Okay. Yeah. You want us to send some people your way?
Yeah, you reached the
Yeah,
bottom of the barrel
please,
here.
please, man, send bands our way.
Okay.
So let's
Yeah, we'll
talk
do that.
about October Noir, though. Tell us a little bit about about the band and how you guys got started, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Tyler, you want to go?
How we got started, where we're from. Well, we are out of Pensacola, Florida. I reside in Mobile, Alabama, which is about an hour away, but based out of Pensacola. How we got started would probably be better for Tom, better suited.
It never started. We're still trying to get started.
It does
Just
feel
here.
that way a lot of the time. It does feel that way, honestly.
No, well, for me, it was just it's kind of like my one last hurrah to do music or something and try to get involved to see what would happen. Then it was mainly it started with just me doing everything, try and get it going. So I built the whole first album just to see what it would do, and honestly I didn't think it'd do anything, and we just threw it out there, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. So yeah, it never intended it for it to be anything like with a full band going out and doing shows or tours and things of that nature. It was kind of like just a little project thing, but it was mainly due to that gothic metal that basically Typo had created as a genre. and just wanted to be involved, to swim in that same kind of pool that they were working with. So yeah, I just started to see how it would go, and it did really well. So I was like, well, I guess we'll put a band together and see what happens. So it kept growing.
Yeah, I could definitely hear the typo influence in what you guys were doing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet.
No, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't, but I think it's like if that's also your starting point. Like as you guys continue to grow and stuff, maybe you grow further beyond that or whatever. But
Well, in a way, yeah. I mean, I like to play around and pull from all kinds of different genres of different music and styles. It gets incorporated a lot, but a lot of people don't seem to hear it. They kind of scratch the surface and say, oh, it's typo negative.
yeah,
That's
well,
all I see.
one of the things I thought was really cool is you guys did that cover of "Wicked Game" by Chris
Mhm.
Isaac. I was like, oh, it fits for the style of music you're doing, even though it's not a metal song.
Yeah, it worked out. Initially I didn't want to do that one because it had been done and overdone, and then him had their version of it, which I didn't think anybody would be able to really top it when it comes to that version, the style.
Yeah,
But Doug, our keyboard player, he was very adamant about doing that one. So I was just like, well, if we do it, we got to do something completely different, and that's kind of what came out of it.
yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't sound exactly like the original song. It's like you
Yeah,
guys kind of take on it.
yeah.
So outside of Typo, like what are other bands that you guys consider influential to your style and like inspirational to you doing music?
Big ones for me was like Danzig and Cradle of Filth, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, a lot of even Alice in Chains. Um, yeah, Bush. Bush was another one. So a lot of the '90s grunge and the '80s hair metal. That was some of my biggest influences. But I always kind of dove into the more darker stuff. But I guess Danzig would be in that territory.
Yeah.
Cradle of Filth was black metal, but a lot of the symphonic work and keyboard work was really the inspiration from a lot of what they did.
I feel like now it's like a really good time for metal too, even though some people might disagree. But I was just watching this interview with Kirk Hammett from Metallica, and they were talking about Master of Puppets and how it came out in the 80s. Like it's hard to believe it came out in like 86, but he's like, at the time it came out, people were just like, what is that? And now he's like
Yeah,
14-year-olds will come up to me and they're listening to like this insane, brutal, like death stuff. So it's like, I feel like it's a good time for bands like you guys,
yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's one of the things we discussed too. Is like everything retros. Things tend to come back around, and it's like the fashion and influence came back into the '80s side. I mean, you look at TV shows like Stranger Things that are out
Yep.
there, and it's going to work that way the same way with the '90s, which is more of our kind of premise and push in sound. So yeah, I think that'll be a ticket then to gain a little bit more on the popular side.
Yeah, my biggest fear is that it will be like Kurt was talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
from Metallica. My biggest fear is that in 20 years people will find us and be like, wow, and we'll be jaded and have already given up.
Yeah.
I'll be fucking dead by then, so maybe I'll get my lucky
Yeah.
break after that.
Sometimes that's what it takes, right? Like some of these artists.
Yeah,
Well, you guys have one thing going for you in that department, that you're not in rap. So it seems like,
Yeah.
like that's definitely
Not
a
yet. That's next.
No, no,
That's the thing that happens in rap, right? Yeah, not yet. I love that.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan.
What do you guys do like locally? Do you guys like what's the scene like that you guys are in right now? Are you guys out touring? Are you playing locally? Speak to that a little bit.
Um, right now we're just focusing on getting ready to travel for the tours that we have. Like we're headed up to Brooklyn and Long Island on September 2nd and 3rd. And then we got to fly over to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. That's October 13th, and then we'll be at the Whiskey A Go Go October 15th in LA.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and hit Tennessee, in Memphis on November 4th, I believe. So yeah, we're just kind of focusing on that. We just came out of getting this new album done and finished. It comes out on the 22nd of September. So we're trying to take just a little bit of downtime. Of course, when the holidays get here, then we like to stop altogether and then finish out the year and then wait until next year to get into anything.
Gotcha. Well, I'll try to catch you guys definitely when you get out here. So
Where you at?
I'm in LA.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, come out.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys are playing the whiskey.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great bands there. Well, so I was looking on I listened to a bunch of songs on your Spotify, and I was looking for what you just said, new album. Talk a little bit about that. Like how long have you guys been working on it? What's it called? Talk a little bit about the writing and recording process.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I just got a message from Paul Lockwood, and all it said was new album equals fucking masterpiece. So
Wow, that's great.
I just got that message about 5 minutes ago. So we did something really different, which I wasn't totally on board with, but we got the album done early. It releases September 22nd, but we got the album in, and we have a big pre-order. So we just started shipping them out. So people are getting this album a month before it's out to those who ordered, and people are hitting us back with responses. I mean, my phone's going off right now. It's crazy to watch.
Deluxe edition though.
Yeah, the deluxe edition. Yeah, it's crazy to see though. I mean, man, this album, this feels like the album that might never have happened this time last year. So,
yeah, we've been working on it for over a year. There's a lot more. It's like dark 80s. There's some dark synth wave that's in there and stuff that's kind of featured, and then a lot more 80s inspired, influenced guitar work. But yeah, we another thing we try and do is you fill up an 80-minute CD. So we kind of pride ourselves on doing longer songs, and everybody's bitching like, "Oh, can you make it more radio friendly?" No, the fuck, I cannot. Sorry. If you want what we're giving, then that's what we give, and if we can chop it down a little bit to make it better or easier, some songs we might try it. But overall, the process is very smooth, I think, for this album, much more so than the last. But yeah, it's very big, very dark, very 80s.
Where'd you guys record at?
Here we have our own like little studio space set up, so it makes it easier.
I think that's kind of cool, actually, that you sent out the hard copies to the people that pre-ordered too, because it's almost like if it's not out on streaming yet, it's kind of like a little bonus for the fans that actually paid for the record.
Yeah. It is, yeah, and like I said, it's only for the deluxe edition, which the deluxe was made to wear. I think it's like $30, but I bought this like parchment paper, and I'm only doing 100 copies of it, but it's parchment paper and then like a wax seal stamp that's got a logo etched into it. So
cool.
I handwrite them with a feather pen on, and ink, like the quill and ink thing. But I'll handwrite the lyrics of their choice, and then I put them inside this envelope and wax seal it.
That's
send it
super
off
cool.
that way. So yeah, a little bonus.
So the pre-order letters to exist. I'm looking at it now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the one.
That's it.
So is it still available?
It is, yeah. The deluxe edition is going to go away September 1st. So we're actually going to split whatever's remaining off from those lyric pages off to the side. I'll sell them separately just to get rid of them. But yeah, after that, yeah, that'll be it.
Okay. I keep looking down because I'm going through the checkout process right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I like it when bands do stuff like that. Like here was a band that did a cassette, and there's the wax seal.
Oh, awesome!
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that was Necrofire out of Houston.
Yeah. That's a brilliant idea. Like I didn't think it was gonna do shit. Like whatever. I was like, oh, we'll try it. We'll see what happens. And then it actually gained some traction. So
yeah. So I'm going to I'll be ordering that. I'm trying to.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm wanting to listen and pay attention, but I can sit now. We're talking about people are going to do the same thing I'm doing. Oh, I need to go order that. And then you're sold out. It's like,
that's right. Yeah. Okay. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's it. I'm not doing it anymore. I get about 4 in a day, and then I've got to stop.
Yeah.
Like I've hit my quota.
Yeah. My hand can't take anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of lyrics in there.
I love that. We live in a time too where everything's been so commodified with music. I think people appreciate, like, it's why one of the reasons vinyl has become popular again. It's like people appreciate the handheld product.
They do, and that's the way I feel about it too. Like, there's not. I mean, the smell of it, and being able to go through the artwork and read the lyrics or whatever else they offer inside those things, that's all. It's long gone, man. And like you said with vinyl, it's great that it's making a comeback, but at the same time, it's still so expensive to do it. Like
Yeah.
for us, I think we had to hit on like it's like 20 minutes per side on a vinyl. And I was like, well, fuck, it's going to be considered a double LP because we do 80 minutes worth of material for an album.
Mhm.
So I'm like, that's going to, increase the prices. And I think what we were looking at doing vinyl, we had to charge like $40 or $50 a pop just to make a scrape of something off of it because it's so expensive. But I
Yeah,
just,
so it
I
doesn't
didn't want
make
to screw people
sense.
over. Yeah.
And then you got to
that's too
mail
much.
it or like deliver it and all that kind
Right.
of stuff. And
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shipping goes with that. So, yeah.
And then shipping rates are higher now.
Yes, they are.
They're insane.
Yep.
I mean, that's where the world is heading, right? Like everything's going to be.
Well, it's like the modern vehicles. They don't even put CD players in them anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
crazy.
I have a bunch of CDs, and the other day I was like, I want to listen to my CDs, but I don't have a CD player anymore. So I was trying to buy
Yeah.
a CD. You can't even buy a CD player.
No, man, it's crazy.
I had to buy a
But-
DVD player and just play it through my
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy part because I know and it's so different. Like the sound quality on a CD is so incredible, and it's weird and different because you can hear the panning that's inside of the songs and the way the techniques are ran on the CD. But then when you get it in a digital format or file, it just sounds like mudded shit. It's all crushed and compressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different.
It's not the same.
It's
That's
not.
for sure.
It's not. Yeah.
I've got a CD player in the car, and there are times that one CD will stay in the car for a good week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the type of person, like I just want to listen to it, and it doesn't matter where it picks up. I just listen to it continuously, over and over and over. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that there's my vehicle has a CD player. I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do when I buy another vehicle. Maybe actually put in.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like the aftermarket stuff and put,
Yeah.
this in there. But yeah, because I remember like my car had a six disc head unit, which was
Uh-huh.
great. But
I wonder
So-
if it, oh, go ahead.
I
I
was just
was
gonna
just-
say,
Go ahead.
we're talking about these different formats. Guys probably don't remember this. You might have been too young or not even born yet. I don't know. But when 8-tracks were starting to phase out, they had an adapter that you put into the 8-track, and then you would slip
That's
a
right.
cassette
Yeah, I remember that.
into the
well,
adapter.
then it multiplied. It went to now it's a cassette that you could put in there and had like a little tethered cable to a you can put it on your phone or fucking
Your
Oh,
iPod
yeah.
or whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plugs into your iPod. The tape thing.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
It's funny. I was just thinking, I was like, I wonder if anyone's ever figured out how to do vinyl in a car, like a car record player.
You see a fucking monogram sitting up on the dashboard. Well, yeah.
Got those little horns sticking out of the dash.
I wonder
Yeah.
how it do for all those idiots that put the PA speakers inside their fucking grill so everybody can hear that music when you're rolling through.
Oh yeah, the bass guys.
40-inch rims. Yeah, fucking idiots, man. I hate that shit. But anyway,
All they do
yeah,
is set off car alarms.
yeah, have this for your monogram. Let everybody else listen.
Yeah, it gets. I mean, I love bass as much as the next guy, but it gets to a point where it's like you can't even hear anything else. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
Just
it's
got the trunk
rattling the whole
rattle.
fucking car apart. Yeah, yeah. It's so
also you
funny.
got to wonder if that's dangerous for their cars. Is that like shaking the bolts loose? Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, eventually, if there's anything probably isn't secured with fucking Loctite, it's going to come loose at some point, I would imagine.
like lose a
Yeah.
wheel on the freeway after you've been
Yeah.
slamming gangster rap for a year.
Yeah. I've seen stuff, man, blow out windows, and
Oh,
it's crazy. Yeah.
yeah. I used to
What-
call car alarms bass alarms in my old neighborhood because they were just
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
someone's
tell you,
home.
in listening to like metal music or rock music with a car that's got a full system, I never enjoyed it. Like it was too much bass and then it was too much treble. I just like the regular speakers, man. Give me the 9.5 inches and let it ride.
I used to play in a band, and our drummer was like one of those audiophile guys, and he had the good setup. He had like this little 280Z, but he had like subs in the back, so it hit with rap. But then we'd like be cranking some Rush or something on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like really it was beautiful, So
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on how you
Yeah,
calibrate it.
most times those guys they push it for the bass and the rap music anyway.
Totally.
So
Totally. It's all about like it's like the how loud can you get it to get attention. It's like the
yeah,
not to compare it to dudes with Harleys, but like, you know, sometimes it's the same thing, like kind of like the
yeah,
loud.
yep. I've seen those too. Yeah, motorcycles crank up the built-in stereo.
Oh man.
Yeah. Nothing better than going down the road on a Harley at 60 and popping it in neutral and just revving it up. For what? I know.
I remember motorcycles in the late 70s had 8 tracks on some of your bigger bikes that had 8 tracks.
Really,
Yes.
man, I
got a
never would have
specific
expected
memory
that.
of seeing a guy popping in an 8-track at the bowling alley when I was a kid.
That does sound about right.
Yeah, the bowling alley days.
And he I don't know what he was playing. I still would like to find out these days, but it reminded me of something on Deep Purple or something with some heavy keyboards. And it was just driving,
Yeah,
so.
I love anything with those crazy organs in it. Like
yeah, get you some doors and
dude shredding an organ.
yeah. Was it Boston?
Yeah, exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking of. The intro to that Boston song.
Yeah, is that More Than a Feeling?
I think
No,
so.
is it long time foreplay? What you're thinking about?
Oh yeah, that's it. Foreplay. Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had foreplay. Come here, Tyler.
Oh, yeah, you and me both.
Beholding
Well,
Goldilocks.
do you guys want to talk a little bit more about like the writing process for the record, or like some of your favorite songs or anything like that?
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, give away to that one, man, because yeah, be interested to hear your take on it.
The writing process. Well, the writing process for me consisted of Tom. So we send each other. So when we're recording, we have little ideas, and so we just make it into an audio file and text it to each other. So I'm getting these texts about once or twice a week, and I'm hearing this stuff. And it's like, oh, here's where I'm at with this one. And at one point, there was 3 or 4 songs that we were. So it got kind of muddied up in my mind, but you really watch an idea take shape over time. So I'm like, this part here doesn't sound right, or we need to do this. And it's a lot of it is his brainchild, really. It's his thoughts and ideas because he's a lyricist. So watching this thing come watch.
Tyler and I
No,
we
go ahead.
flash back
Go
and
ahead.
forth with the drum stuff. He's like, no, we need to ride on the crash here, and I'm like, no, you're fucking mudding it out. Go to the ride. Go to something more jingly. So
yeah, the whole process of this album coming together, it's amazing that it's done. I don't know how that it happened, just mysteriously, but it's done.
How long have you guys been recording?
It's been over a year working on that.
I think
So
Endless Lonely. I think
here.
our first single,
Mm-hmm.
because we were kind of unsure about what was going to happen, just even with the state of the band altogether last year. The first single came out, I think, was in September. I think it was in September of last year, but we had a song come together, and it's just masterful, beautiful, and we did not know if the band was going to actually stay together for live. We thought we might just keep it all to record. Luckily, we're still live, but that song came. We put that song out, and then a lot more things happened, and kept writing. But I lost my train of thought. I was thinking about it.
His brain farted.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Did anything crazy happen like while you're recording? Any like crazy stories or anything like come together magically? Like any specific songs that stand out to you that other than the single?
Yeah, I remember the For Honor song. Tyler, he was not on board with it at all.
I hated it.
I guess it was gonna. Yeah, it's like, it's not really us because it's very 80s in the. But I was like, I want to do an A, B, and C segment. And so we roll into the B and roll into C, and it's just an entirely different atmosphere coming at you. So I think figuring out the atmosphere in that was the magical moment for that song, to where it really turned out to be one of the best sounding, I think, on the album. Um, and of course, we have "She's Gone," which was more of an acoustic kind of medley, but it was developed to where, I had this like little hook catch in where she's gone, but I wanted to like, all right, now let me put a twist on it to where, how can I hate this person? And it's like, oh, she's gonorrhea. So that's the lyrics that came out of it. So we call that our gonorrhea song now. So yeah, it's little things like that just kind of pop up. I try not to pregame on anything too much. I try to let things kind of flow. If something kind of pops in my head lyrically that's got a pattern vocally, then I'll write around that. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on. There was just a lot going on during that time process of writing, to where I had a lot to say, I guess. So it made things easier.
I can't remember who I was listening to recently, but they were talking about how, like I guess in like the 70s and then not through the 90s, like it was like bands kind of experimented a little bit more maybe than they do now. And it's like a Zeppelin record, for example, has like a bunch of different kind of styles on it than like a
Yeah,
lot of modern bands kind of fuck with, where it seems like music is a lot more linear now.
it
Um,
is.
how did you guys record? Did you guys use like Pro Tools?
I use Logic Pro X, and then
Okay.
yeah, a lot of it's just heavy keyboard work. Is one of the things we talked about. I was in Paul Bento's studio last year doing the third album. Um, he was like, Tom, it's like, most bands will, they'll do between 16 and 24 tracks in a single song. It's like, man, you're fucking running 52. So the process is a lot bigger when it comes to the way we do things. But that's just, I try to take each segment of the song. I want elements to pop out and stick out, and there's not a lot of quiet time, so it's a lot happening and going on with each direction.
There's
But
dynamics.
yeah, but it's, we'll use, the guzheng, and the 13 string fucking Chinese instrument, and then we'll go into like a fucking theremin. We'll put theremin stuff in there. It's just
Dope.
all these different types of instruments and pieces that could give or lend a hand to anything atmospherically happening. I like to play with that stuff a lot.
Well, we had a fan of ours that does like custom rings. He laser inscribes things. Well, he
Yep.
sent us a video of him because he took our logo and he sells it on his website. And he sent us a video of him laser etching our symbol into something. We ripped that audio and put it into a song.
Oh,
Yeah.
dope.
There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that.
I love
I
that
think
kind of
that one was
stuff.
in For Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just this weird kind of sound, man. Yeah, but I like to experiment that way. I think it's cool. Like I remember doing Beautiful and using a power drill, to make different noises and sounds to kind of overlay as a soundscape. And then I think in the opening of a Halo Hung from Horns, I was in a pump room for work, which for HVAC stuff, and the cooling towers will pump the water, but those pumps were just buzzing, and it just sounded very alien. So I sat and recorded like a minute and a half's worth, and that's was used in the opening for that. So yeah, yeah, we do a lot of different experimenting with different things.
That's super cool. The found sound thing. I love that.
Hmm.
That makes it like rounds out your sound and also just makes you stand out. It makes you more interesting. That those little
It does, yeah.
production
And
quirks.
and just like going back what you talked about with the linear sound of today's bands, is very true. Like if you buy an album and everything sounds the fucking same song to song, they don't really step out of that comfort zone. I think that's important too, is to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. So we had this interesting conversation come up too because of this. Someone in the comments said something about, they're like, if you notice, the reason music became more linear when everyone started using Pro Tools, because now everyone goes on the grid, where in the 70s and 80s and stuff, it was a lot more kind of freestyle and analog. And I was
It
like, wow,
is,
that's
because everything had to be recorded individually. You make a drum set, you've got to individually record each of those drum pieces that have a mic in front of it.
yeah.
Digital drums, like, and it's weird because I can hear it when it's digital drums inside of songs. Like you just don't get that natural player feeling. That a human can't stay on a Met 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I think that's important in how we do things because we still do everything naturally. Within the recording outside the drums, I think we use Superior Drummer 3, which is actually mic'd and recorded drum kit pieces that are then sampled. So, but we still have Tyler sit down, with the MIDI side, and he's still playing the drums, and it's still having that natural human element to it because you do have frequency detection and then velocity detection of how you're striking that pad. The harder you hit it, the different sound it makes.
Mhm.
So it aids to keep a lot of the work out of it so we can get things done faster, but still maintain the more human side.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because like part of the natural drum sound too is the bleed, like the mic bleed, right? From the
Right.
other
Which
drums.
Superior Drummer has the effects to bleed into the mic. So you
So
do
you
get
get
that bleed over.
super
Yeah, and you
natural
can
tone.
adjust how much bleed you want
Oh, that's
too.
great.
So if you need to sharpen it more, you can take the bleed out of it. And yeah, you just play around with it. And I know how we went through different snare kits for some of the different songs, just to add some different tonality dynamics in each song. So it keeps things fresh. But but another thing too that I noticed is a lot of metal music these days is just over compresses the shit out of all of it on the mastering side, and everything gets louder and mushed together. And I like to keep a lot of that compression out of it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I have to turn my volume up just a little bit more with you guys. Why is that?" Well, so you can the music will fucking breathe. Turn your volume up. Who cares? Roll the knob a bit.
Yeah.
But it just
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't even think
yeah.
about that. It's
Yeah.
so much of the, and not to talk shit, but like so much of the newer metal that comes out, it just sounds so processed to me.
And that's one of the reasons why that
Yeah.
really high ramped compression is why.
Totally. Well, I saw this on the drums thing too. I saw this guy Eric Valentine talking about when they recorded Queens of the Stone Age. Dave Grohl recorded the cymbals separately. Like they recorded the drums and he hit the pads instead of cymbals, and then they went back to keep that cymbal bleed out so the drums hit harder.
I can believe that. I can believe that too, because I'm such a stickler for drum sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the cymbals
it's
are the
smart
most
to do
important
that.
thing to me.
Yeah. You can process your kit, your pads all day long, but the cymbals, we have been suggested before to go in and record live cymbals rather than using the software cymbals. But I was like, it's not going to really make up that big of a difference because it's already mic'd anyways, and it's done in a professional studio. So just fucking use what we got. But yeah, he's smart for doing that because it makes that cymbal sound and tone cleaner.
Yeah, and you don't get that bleed that you have to EQ out at like high end out of your other drums and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I geek out on that stuff. I watch all kinds of that, like those production shows and stuff. And when I have a drum, the only live cymbal I have is a hi-hat, just to get the dynamics, because a hi-hat, especially with processed drum, sounds like when it's uniform.
That's right. That's right.
It's so obvious. Right. Yeah.
Well, then that's the great thing. So if you use the Roland electronic drums, they did a fucking fantastic job with capturing that more natural sound from the hi-hat. It's the way they developed their kit, but so we can use it that way. But I do agree with you on that. Yeah, the hi-hat is very dynamic in its tones, and it's probably better to do it live.
When you guys play live, do you use an electronic kit or do you guys use a live kit?
Yeah, we use a live kit.
Yeah, live kit, huge mono cymbals. I had a guy come to me. He wanted to sponsor he wanted me to buy cymbals, right? He wanted to be my cymbal sponsor, and I play a 18 and then a 20, and then I've got a 24-inch ride, which is kind of unheard of. Everything's mono. He's like, well, I was like, I don't know about a 20-inch cymbal because that's not common, but I don't play common cymbals. I mean, fat and loud. And speaking of Dave Grohl, I mean, the Foo Fighters, when I was a kid watching the Foo Fighters, watching Taylor Hawkins play, he always had the fat cymbals, the Foo Fighters and the Killers, humongous cymbals. And that really imprinted on me from a young age. I'm like, man, I got to have the biggest, baddest cymbals. Because you could play, but you could play a $200 drum kit, but if you've got amazing cymbals, like you're good. You're golden.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it's funny because when I used to jam a lot, one of the best drummers I ever played with, the one thing he would take with us if there was like a house kit is his cymbals and his snare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Tyler's gonna have to do coming up.
Yeah. I'm taking the cymbals. I can adjust a snare, but gotta have the cymbals.
When you guys tour, do you like play other bands' kit, or do they have house kits available? Or
So yeah, when we fly, we have to look at other kits. I know the Whiskey and 89 North, those will both have their own house kits. So
yeah,
the other ones we're doing, yes, we'll have to end up probably borrowing another band's drum set.
I'll definitely have to come check you guys out. The Whiskey, that's a great venue, just always has been. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're doing those. We got to take a percentage of your merchandise cuts type things.
Yeah,
Which is what a lot of venues are pushing towards these days, which I find is bullshit.
it totally
But,
is.
man,
That's a I think a factor of the world in general right now, right? Like just how tough it's been the last few years.
well, it is, and the big thing, like nobody wants to pay for you to come. They want you to come and play, but they don't want to fucking pay for it.
Yeah,
Um,
the Whiskey's
but
always
at
been
the
that
same
way.
time, yeah, and I get everybody's got to make the money, but how you gonna fuck the band out who's bringing you people that are gonna buy your drinks and keep you shit in business, and you want to charge them more? That's what doesn't sit well with me.
For merch. Yeah, I just like get on stage and be like, yo, buy merch off our website.
Yeah,
So we don't have to.
yeah. That's I think the Whiskey does it where it's only soft merch, so like t-shirts. So I'm like, all right, we won't bring t-shirts. You buy
Yeah.
CDs, and or hey, come see us after the show and you can get your t-shirts.
Yeah.
Pop up.
You're like
comes to the
selling
pop-up
t-shirts in the
behind
alley.
band.
Yeah, like fucking drug deals. You got to keep it hidden.
Yeah, it's
Black
tough
market.
too because people, a lot of people think that we're rich and we put a lot into this. I mean, it's a lot, and
Yep.
it cost us as well. I mean,
Yeah.
It does.
our markups aren't that grand for us, but it's tough. Luckily, down in the South where we're at in South Florida or in North Florida, we don't really have to deal with much of that. Typically,
No.
and typically, it's going to be one of our first times ever coming up to where we have to fly to play. So
That's
it's a whole new atmosphere for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
typically we like to trailer in. That way we can bring our sound and our lights and drum kit.
Bring your own
So,
gear.
yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna carry on your cymbals or you gonna check them?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I would love to just carry them on and stick them up
Yeah.
under my leg, and I'm gonna try and shoot for that actually, because if I lose those,
Oh
oof,
my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, it's what scares me. I don't know how they fuck that up, like with luggage and stuff. It blows my mind, man.
Yeah, you might almost be better to like pre-mail your stuff through like a carrying service than take it on a plane.
Yeah, well, you can't do it like guitars and stuff. Fuck, it'll cost you $100 in
Yeah.
shipping. So it's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna just take the chance and throw my bass on the fucking cargo area and see what happens.
yeah. I think with the cymbals I can carry them on and just stick them
Stick
in
them
front
under
of my
the seat.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably won't fit in the overhead, but
No.
if you got a like 24 inch, did you say 24-inch ride?
Yeah, it's massive.
Well, look at the
Workout.
dimensions of that they want for like carry on and see if it would fit into the little box that they have by the board and the ticket counter or whatever.
Yeah, I'm still not an experienced flyer, but I'm about to change that.
Yeah,
So-
honestly, carry on is a good idea because I had an experience where they flew my luggage to another city. So took me a
I
day or
don't
two to get it.
understand. Like, if it's on the same fucking plane with you, how does that happen?
They diverted our flights and stuff. It was like a whole clusterfuck, but
Oh God.
I would put air tags in your cymbal case or in your guitar case and stuff like that. Just to have.
yeah,
And
we're probably
that's a
not
great
helping.
idea.
We're like making you
Sorry.
guys even more paranoid.
Making me really paranoid, yeah.
Yeah,
I need
Well,
to fucking
no,
take my bass
you're not-
case and stuff in between my legs.
You're not making me paranoid at all. I've been paranoid this whole time, and Tom doesn't understand like my fears. I'm like, what, dude? What if this?
No, it's fuck your feelings is what it becomes.
Now I'm going to buy air tags, the Apple air tags. That's a good idea.
If you carry on your symbols too, you'll be fine. Just keep the stuff that's most important to you. Like if it's not like your rare base too, like very worst case scenario, you can replace it, you know, but
yeah, well, that's going to be a different story when the new.
They're not going to lose it. They're not going to lose
I hope
it.
not.
That's what I think that happens pretty rarely, but
Damn it, Dustin.
Good to be. Yeah.
If he loses that base, we can just buy it on eBay in a week.
Yeah.
Buy it back.
If you lose your 24-inch ride, though.
Yeah, take plenty of pictures of your gear.
Yeah.
So the album comes out. You guys said the 22nd of September.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to put out there? We got like another 5 minutes, I would say, before we can wind it down.
No, man. I'd like to just thank Raquel for everything she's been doing. PR girl. She's out
great.
of Orange County, so yeah, she's the one who got us into the whiskey show. So yeah, just come see us.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll
Buy the
definitely
album.
come out and check you guys out.
Yeah, because I know we're gonna do in New York. We'll go ahead and release it to sell the albums while we're there. So people that come to that show, they'll be able to buy it before the release date. So yeah, try to give a little bit of an incentive.
Yeah, that's a cool incentive to get fans to buy the record before it hits streaming.
Yeah.
We just had to reorder the album because it is almost sold out from the time.
Yeah, got a restock
it's
already.
Almost sold out and it's not even released. So that's a good thing. That's a good feeling, I guess. It's good problems. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind lately for all of us, I think.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to what's next.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you plan on buying that deluxe edition, please, for fuck's sake, include what lyrics you want inside the comment section.
Oh, there was a comment section.
Oh, here we go.
So, anyways, I tell you what, you just pick whatever's easiest for you. Because
that makes it even better. I'm going to give you Summer to Autumn, where it's just or hoorah. We had a guy actually request that song for his lyrics. He's like, "Oh, I didn't really get to listen to all of it, but let's pick this one. That sounds good." I was like, "There's no lyrics in that." So I just wrote in the grunt noises and then mailed it to him. You know?
Yeah,
it's what you want.
I did order it, but I was like not trying to be too distracted. I did not even see a comment section, whatever. So just choose one easiest on you. It's being shipped to Texas, so that's where I'm at.
Texas would be good. Well, if you got a favorite song, you can let me know.
Okay.
But I've got about 11 orders sitting around right now where nobody's written in what lyrics they wanted. So I'm just sitting on them.
Just pull them out of a hat, just like, or
do the easy way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me, just pull something, whatever makes it easier on your writer's cramp and stuff like that.
Well, if you got a favorite song that you want, I'd rather give you that. But yeah,
okay.
If you want me to pick, I can pick either way.
Put a couple lines.
To me, that's more personal. If you're picking not a tune,
yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
I'll do that for yours and all the rest of the 11 that are left.
So everybody else that you didn't put a comment in there, you're welcome.
Buddy, thank Brian.
That's right. So I'm looking forward to getting this now.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I'll get it out for you tomorrow. Actually, it'll be on its way.
Okay, just take your time.
I'm gonna do it that way. It's out of the way.
Tyler, I like that poster. Some of those posters in the background. I got that Black Label poster in my hallway.
Oh yeah. I got to meet Zach Wild getting that, and I gave him, like, you go through the meet and greet, and I wrapped him up and gave him a hug, and I just told him Book of Shadows saved my life. That's all I could think to say.
You guys tickle each other's balls and beards?
I wish, man. I didn't have that much time, but maybe one day.
Zach Wild is the man.
Yeah.
God, he's
so
fucking
awesome,
incredible.
Hey,
I've always loved Black
Pantera
Label, I've always loved Black Label, but his solo stuff is the shit to me.
Pride and Glory.
Pride and Glory. Deep Shadows, and even or Book of Shadows, and then even the second one, which is incredible.
Yeah. I didn't.
think,
He's like a fantastic piano player.
Oh man, he's
I
a
didn't know
freaking
that.
nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love the
some
fact that
setup
he's
on the-
doing Pantera's guitar work now. I
Oh,
saw a lot
yeah.
of people complain, "Oh, it's not Pantera." What the fuck you want him to do, man?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
you're
the
just not
best.
gonna go see him.
Yeah, it's the best possible people in those seats. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Charlie
I agree.
and it's, who else? Who would be better in those seats? Like no one.
Right.
Well,
Well,
yeah, it's not Dimebag. Well,
Of course, it's not. No one is.
yeah,
Yeah, but
sit
then-
at home.
all the people that complain, but then you see the shows, they're sold out.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, they're
I mean,
sold out.
Today is Dimebag's birthday, by the way. We were just
Yes.
talking about
That is correct.
is.
Yeah,
That is August
R.I.P.
20th,
Dimebag.
1966.
Halloween in heaven.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I like about Zach being up there, he's got the Dean from Hell paint job on his guitar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nothing it's nothing but respect from those guys, man. And you can clearly tell. I don't know, it blows my mind. Everybody's got a fucking opinion when they have an internet account, though. So there's that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just sit at fucking home. We'll go enjoy ourselves. I don't care.
We get people on the comments all the time. It's not really Pantera.
Yeah, well,
Well,
neither are many
we
of the
know
bands
that.
they're probably still listening to.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a celebration.
like-
Okay.
they're
Right.
and they like the same old regurgitated shit from everybody else. So do what you
God.
want, but
Yeah, speaking of Pantera, that feels very personal to what we go through, because everybody wants a Typo Negative reunion, right? Everybody
Yeah.
calls for that all the time,
mhm.
and
I
then
won't do it.
somebody's name gets thrown in the hat, by crazy people online, or yeah, that'll never happen though.
No,
Yeah,
I
just-
even
I
if it
just-
did, if I was approached, I'd tell them no, I wouldn't do it.
Have you guys met Kenny and Johnny?
We have not met them. They are familiar with us. Raquel works with them, so
Yeah.
maybe soon we'll have that opportunity. I did get a picture from a friend of ours, Kelly, that was in New Jersey. She actually was at one of Silvertomb's shows, and so she sent us a picture where she's standing next to Kenny and he's holding our fucking third album in his hand. So
Nice.
that was pretty cool. But yeah, no, I haven't met him. I'd like to, maybe one day.
I interviewed Kenny a couple weeks ago because they have a
Yeah.
band. I Am. Have you heard the I Am
Yep.
stuff?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I'm like really stoked to hear that full record.
Yep. Yeah, it's yeah, I know that was kind of like that one-off supergroup thing that just managed to catch some good traction. So yeah, more power to them.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well,
I love Crowbar too. Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
New Orleans isn't that far from me. Crowbar's been in my top 5 forever. Super fan over here.
Plus,
Every time I see Kirk, he's like, "What's up, Tyler?" And it just blows my mind, dude. It just blows
So
my mind that
know.
he still remembers me being around for the past decade.
that's dope.
Yeah.
And plus, he's in Down too.
Oh, I know.
I
God,
always forget
dang.
about that.
I know the super group to end all super groups. in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Riffs.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I don't want to keep you much longer. Everyone should check out the record on September 22nd. You guys got a single out right now, right?
2 singles. We got Endless Lonely and Forever Haunt that featured Nadia Codes.
Endless Lonely, I think, is the one I listened to this morning. But I was kind of going through some of your discog, and I touched on the Wicked Game and some of your older singles too. So
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that discography that we can't wait for somebody to find.
well, it's good stuff, man. I'm excited for people to hear the new record, and hopefully I'll get a chance to catch you guys when you're out here in LA.
Yeah, man. Yeah, please come out if you're available. So
Definitely.
love to see you there.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, guys, for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And everyone get out and see these guys on tour and check out the record. Get a pre-order of the new record and get
That's
custom
right.
lyrics.
Get it before they're sold out.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll when we're done with these live broadcasts too, I always cut the interview out and post it on its own. So you guys will get a link for that through Raquel.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for taking the time, boys. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys. You enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And come back through again.
We shall. I'll get some people your way too.
Yeah, awesome.
Get you some more interviews
Right.
set up.
Love it.
All right.
All right,
I'm out, I guess.
So here's the odd feeling now. How you just
Yep.
cut out, they just close out.
We're just
Gentlemen,
gonna keep,
thank you for
I mean,
your
you can
time.
stay on too. We're gonna keep yapping about Dimebag's birthday. So
Oh yeah. Well, well, somebody ordered something, so now I got fucking lyrics to write. So.
I'm gonna go rock a piss.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, we hang out for a little while. I don't mind.
I cut out this so I cut out this article I was going to share that it was it's Dave Mustaine talking about Dimebag. And I don't know if you know this. I didn't know this until I read this, but Dave asked Dime to join Megadeth at one point.
Yes, he did.
Really? I did
Yeah.
not know that.
So this is like the whole story of it too. Here, hold on, let me share this real quick. I'm still like
See, I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth, so
here's the story. Dave Mustaine on Dimebag Darrell. He would want us to remember him by celebrating Not Mourn. Megadeth frontman. This is from Billboard, by the way. Dave Mustaine reminisces about close friend Dimebag Darrell. Billboard. This is from 2014, December 2014.
Damn.
So 10 years after the onstage shooting of Pantera legend Dimebag Darrell, Abbott Billboard spoke with the Guitar Gods, friends, family, and fellow rock icons about the 38-year-old Shredder's death left in metal and in their lives. I thought I saw death metal there. Here, Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine remembers his friend. I always think of the good stuff with Darrell, says Mustaine. You first met Pantera when they were on the Texas bar circuit, correct? So you can probably talk a little bit about this, Brian, being an OG Dallasite. Yeah, they were a cover band.
Times. So there was one club that I always would go see them at, and that's when they were fronted with
Terry Glaze.
And then eventually when Phil came on board, they went through a couple singers, and then when Phil came on board, they're going into more heavier style and things like that. And they were playing a place called Joe's Garage. And so I don't know if you've ever seen the footage of Kerry King up on stage jamming with Pantera and Phil. That was filmed at Joe's Garage. And that venue is now a car lot. It's just like, it's a mile and a half from where I live. So it's just every time I drive past it, I just think about all the cool stories that are in that building.
The OG Pantera from the glam years.
I saw that.
Cover band.
I saw that. The first time I saw them was actually August of 1984.
Jesus Christ. I was like a few months old at that point.
Yeah, I saw them August 1984.
I was 6.
And they Six Flags Over Texas, before it became a big, corporation, you just had Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington, and they played a venue inside that was doing like a Saturday night concert for local bands. And that was going to be my first time to see them. So I think, okay, I'll get there a couple hours early so I can get a good seat. And they were playing this place called the Southern Palace. So it was like theater seating. And so that, it was tiered. And I get there two hours ahead of time. And there was already like a lot of people out there. And so I waited 2 hours and I was at the back. It's like when they opened up the doors, you could hear windows breaking. They had those like doors with those glass planes or glass panes, and like somebody's hand went through a window because they're fighting to get on in, and people were like getting pushed up against a big column, because it was called Southern Palace. It had that Southern architecture, and that show was off the hooks. It was crazy. And it was really, really high energy. And that was in their Projects in the Jungle era. And what made the show so unique was the stage had hanging mylar. So hanging mylar sheets, maybe like a 1x1, foot by foot. And behind the mylar, you had those lights, and it would like do patterns. So imagine like the disco floors of the 70s with the lights coming up. Well, it was the same type of patterns, but it was hanging back behind the band, and that just made it more intense. And I'm glad to say that I saw that. And
so they were already huge though before Phil, even like they already had a huge following in Dallas.
They did have a huge following, and then just Phil took them into a heavier direction. Like I remember the first time I saw them with Phil, I think it might have been Phil's first gig. not sure, but I think they kicked off with Start the Fire, then Metal Church Start the Fire, and then followed by Ton of Bricks. It's like, wow. And then they would play some Malice and a Stellar Masters, and of course they would play some, the Van Halen and the Priest and some Slayer and stuff like that.
I didn't know they were a cover band.
Yeah.
So here's the bit. I just wanted to share this bit about Dime getting offered
Right.
the position in Megadeth, and then I'll shut this off. But see, you later offered Dime a shot at lead guitar position in Megadeth, and this is Dave Mustaine talking about it. I can make it out like it was some huge elaborate ordeal, but it was really just a simple telephone call, just two guys talking. We needed a guitar player, and Ellefson, being kind of the ambassador of the band, had gotten his number and hooked me up with Daryl. I said, "Hey, we're looking for a new lead guitar player." He goes, gruff Texas accent, "All right, man, can I bring my brother?" "Well, who's your brother?" Vinny Paul. And I was like, I don't get it. What the fuck? He's got to bring his brother? Is it like Rain Man or something? So he goes, "No, man, he's my drummer. He's got to come." And I was like, oh man, I just hired Nick Menza. I think back at that moment of my life, I would have said, you know what? Screw Nick Menza. I'm taking Vinnie Paul and Daryl. What Megadeth would have sounded like, of course, there would be no Pantera, and Megadeth would have been even more ferocious on guitar. But yeah, what would have happened? So that's an interesting.
Well, in
Yeah,
retrospect, because he would have shit on Nick Menza later on anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. He
But-
shit on Nick Menza in that article.
oh yeah, but
He's
yeah,
like, "Fuck Nick Menza. I should have."
luckily Dom declined, man. If there was no Pantera, what? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
That's a hard thought. I've got a
Totally.
good friend of mine. He went to that show last night, the Pantera and Metallica show. He was at Big Rob's last night. I'm like, son of a bitch.
We
He
were
was
just
there
talking
for
about
the Pantera like cover band or whatever. And they sound killer too. So
that. They sound great.
yeah, they're awesome.
Phil's voice sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get. I don't have tickets, but I'm trying to get. They're playing Friday here, and I'm like, I got to get into that show. I got to figure out. I'll find a way. I will find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend, he was telling me about how expensive his tickets were. I'm like, damn, you must have really good seats. And then I saw his video and he didn't really have good seats at all. So I was like, oh, we pay like
Those-
$700 a ticket.
Yeah,
Jesus.
those
He was
Metallica,
way up.
those shows though. We were talking about because Metallica, before you guys came on, Brian was saying how Metallica brought in more people in Dallas than Taylor Swift did, and it's because
Holy
they
shit.
yeah, it's because of the way they do their setup now. They have like the full stage, so they can fill the full stadium. Where an artist like Taylor Swift, she's got like the back of the
Yeah.
stage, so the back part of the stadium isn't. They're not selling tickets for that,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
genius though when you think about it.
Totally,
Yep.
totally. Metallica's pioneers in that. They did that snake pit thing too back in the day.
Mhm.
Those like VIP snake pit tickets, like that
Yep.
is genius.
Yep.
News reports were saying attendance was 100,000.
That's crazy.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, imagine the line in your car to get out of that
Well,
place.
Let
Oh
me
my god.
let me add to that. Where the Rangers play, Globe Life Park is walking distance, like quarter mile, maybe
Yeah.
a little over a quarter mile from AT&T Stadium. Rangers were playing also.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Well, that's just like in New Orleans, though. I mean, you've got the arena where the basketball team is, and then right across the street, you've got like a huge civic center where concerts happen. And it's at night. I mean, if driving in New Orleans is a nightmare on a Tuesday afternoon.
A
So
nightmare anytime.
yeah,
I was in New Orleans right before COVID at Mardi Gras, so I was probably a super spreader.
But I will
that's
never
where
go
you got it
Mardi
from,
Gras.
then, huh?
Oh my God, it was a nightmare. Man, there was a point where I've never been in a situation like this where I was on Bourbon Street and you could not move. There were so many people, and literally people were so crushed in. People just started fighting. People started like just punching each other. They had to bring horses in to like break up
Yeah.
the crowds and stuff. It
Yeah,
was
that's why I don't
insane.
go.
It was insane. I want to go again, not during Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
But-
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I avoid Mardi Gras anytime.
I do too. Well, I mean, I live in Mobile, and that's the birthplace of Mardi Gras. So I've been
Okay.
around it my entire life. I've actually played a lot of Mardi Gras parades where you get like I was in another band. I've been in a couple of bands before. You just get a flatbed trailer and roll down the street and just be playing for about 3 or 4 hours.
I do love
doesn't
that about
sound
New
as
Orleans.
fun as it seems.
Yeah, New Orleans is cool in that respect, man. I really I haven't spent a lot of time there, but I really want to go experience. Like, there was a lady there that told me, she's like, you got to come back when it's not Mardi Gras, because like there's
Yeah.
so much. There's like a rich city with rich
Yeah.
history,
Well,
especially
you can
for
actually
music.
walk around and see everything. Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
I like to go.
Yeah,
So to get
my
the
advice would
experience.
be take a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and just do it then. Do it when the crowds are low. That's the best time to really experience
And
them.
not during football season either.
Yeah, no, because they give Saints tickets away,
Yeah.
so it's crowded.
My buddy had a place for a minute in the French Quarter, so that was why I ended up going out there. He had like, it was so crazy, man. I just thinking back, I was like, I remember coming home like one night after partying and trying to open the door to get out to go out partying, and I couldn't open it, and I kept hitting something, and it's like this drunk dude had just passed out,
Yeah.
like smacking the
So,
door
yeah,
on his head
that
trying to
sounds
get
accurate.
out.
Yeah. So you hadn't really ventured much in New Orleans, huh?
No.
Well, if you do go there, go to the Culture Vulture.
Okay.
It's like a heavy metal t-shirt shop. They got t-shirts, all kinds of merch and stickers and stuff.
And then there's the dungeon too for the bar scene. It's like a good
Yeah.
goth metal bar.
The Dungeon, the Vampire Bar, Toulouse Dive, all that good stuff.
We kept ending up at some karaoke place there. It was fun though. There's like hella hot girls there and stuff. But
Yeah.
are you, Tyler, are you from originally from Mobile, or
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah,
That's
so
the country.
I used to play in New Orleans all the time when I was younger too. So I used to walk around New Orleans in flip-flops, which I wouldn't do today. But I was just it was
Step on
almost
a
like a
heroin
second
needle.
home. It was a second home to me in a lot of ways.
I love I love those I like dirty cities. So I love New Orleans, what I experienced of it, despite the Mardi Gras shenanigans. But we had this joke. It was so, I just thought of this. We're like, we had this running joke of like, I hope that's water. You know, we would like step in a puddle or like
It's
something,
not.
something would drip on us. We're
Never
like,
is.
Oh goodness.
It's
that
not.
was like the slogan for New Orleans. I hope that's water.
Yeah.
Well,
That's a different kind of levy holding that in.
It's such a cool city though. Like just even the way that it's built, and the fact that like they don't have graveyards like the mausoleums and stuff, or the above ground cemeteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
No, there's
architecture.
a lot of good spots. Yeah. A lot of good
Yeah, I was
spots.
just there last week. And I passed they have like one humongous graveyard with all the mausoleums. I was like, yep, I went right past it. It's like every time I go there, I'm like, damn, I need 2 more days. You know?
There's always something interesting that happens when you go.
Yeah, and the
we went
people
the day after we did that music video, and
yeah, the people
oh
really
god,
the people will always make it interesting for you, even if you don't ask for it.
yeah. All the guys trying to fucking polish my boots. They'd always start off with like the punchline fucking joke or whatever.
Yeah.
I bet I know what kind of shoes you got on. Yeah, it was just
Street hustlers.
Yeah, man. And well, I was like, all right, well, guess it then. He was like, the ones on your fucking feet. Ha ha ha. Let me reach down and polish your shoe. I'm like, no, get the fuck off me, man. No, not giving you any money.
I want a specific brand.
Yeah, ugh, that guy fucking drove me nuts. And then like 3 more came up using the same fucking line. And I was like, I already know this one. Just leave me alone.
They were all like trained at the same like spot.
They were, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Street
okay, here's
Hustler
a
University.
yeah, exactly. There's cats like that out here. I had a guy one time. I was at a car wash. I was like getting my gas, and this guy just rolls up and starts like washing my window and my hubcaps.
Oh yeah.
Yo, what the fuck, bro? Like I ain't paying you.
Like,
Get
I
the
don't
fuck
have.
here.
There's no verbal agreement here, so thanks for the free wash. See you later.
Yeah, like just because you ran up and did that doesn't mean I'm going to pay you for it.
Yeah, well, you got the ones that are trying to sell shots to people on the streets. I remember this one bitch fucking ran up and like rammed it down my throat. It was like, oh, now you owe me $30. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? Oh, you what?
you're probably you're probably a pretty big dude too. Like I'm a 6'2", like I'm not small, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm
I can only
6'1".
imagine what they do to people who are like not in like less intimidating, you know. It's like people
Yeah, this is a small little girl too. You know, she didn't give a fuck, man. She was just like, "Rah," down your throat. I was like, God, I just got raped, and then I got to pay for it.
that only happens to me when I go to Latin dance clubs and there's like a dude on stilts walking around dumping tequila down people's throats.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird.
We were talking about with this other guy, he's talking about giving money to panhandlers. And I always tell this story because I was at this gas station one time and this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, you got any change?" You know, and the lady behind me looks at him and she goes, "Motherfucker, you ain't poor. Look at your shoes." And I look down and this guy has these like Steen Nikes on, and I went,
Yeah.
"Oh God, this lady's
man, it's wild." I remember shit. We were in Brooklyn, Tyler. We went to the Dunkin' Donuts that morning to get some coffee and
Oh,
stuff. And this fucking
God,
lady
man.
walks in like begging for money, and this guy in front of us, he was like, "Hey, I'll buy you. What do you want? I'll buy you a sandwich, you know, whatever." I don't want that. So the guy was like, "Well, fuck you then. You're not getting shit." So
Yeah.
so like a few hours later, we're gonna stop by the store to get some sandwiches to take out to the Petrie event or whatever. And there's that fucking lady, and 10 feet behind Tyler and I, she fucking drops her goddamn pants down and starts pissing on the sidewalk. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was terrifying, dude. Man, New York is a fucking terrifying place. I'd much rather be in New Orleans. I felt a lot safer there.
That's crazy.
Oh, in New Orleans, this is bad too.
Yeah, I feel a lot safer in New Orleans because I know New Orleans. I know where I can duck out.
Yeah.
New York is just like a whole nother, it's like its own other country.
Well, yeah, but remember we were talking about, like I was telling everybody, do not fucking go into the subways, avoid them at all costs, get an Uber or whatever. And then like the day before we had flown back.
The day after we got home.
Yeah.
The day after we landed.
Guy went down to the subway and shot the place up.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The fucking day after, and we walked by that subway station that he did it. I'm like,
yeah.
It was terrifying because we had done, I think it was that same week that we did the Deacon. We did a podcast with Michael Deacon.
I think so, yeah.
And he was talking about it. And our good friend Mike Hideous that sang with the Misfits.
Yeah.
He was on the podcast too, and he was like, "Oh yeah, y'all almost died.
Yeah.
You could have died if you would have stayed a day later."
Day later,
it was right there.
Well, that's why I said, stay the fuck out of those places, man. It's a fatal funnel.
It's crazy too because it's perspective. Like you were saying, my cousin is one of those people who goes to all these different cities all over the world, and he's like, New Orleans, I hate New Orleans because he got mugged. Like as soon as he got there,
there you go.
I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't get mugged there, so
yeah, it's you do have to kind of, first of all, have your head on a fucking swivel at all times, and then your demeanor, like how you walk. You have to come off as intimidating, and the criminals want the path of least resistance.
Yeah,
true.
So you have to keep your demeanor up to where people like that will think twice.
Yeah, and lucky for us, we always travel in a pack, and at least one of us is armed.
Yeah,
because in today's climate, with the way things are, let's just get real,
Yeah, of course. I don't blame you. And it's funny too because I think it's like everywhere you go too, because I see people a lot, people get into politics about like, oh, these cities are the worst, and I'm like, no, it's a nationwide problem, man. It's not red or blue.
It is, yeah, it's everywhere.
It's in LA has a homeless problem, New York has a homeless problem, Austin has a homeless problem,
Pensacola has a homeless problem. So
but where I live in Mobile, it's in the top 3 of most dangerous cities in the world, or in the states, Mobile, Alabama. But it's only a small subsection that makes all those numbers.
Yeah.
Yep.
There is one small community that makes up for the entire city of crime. It's odd. So everybody just avoids that one spot.
Yeah, it's like that here too. LA is the worst for that. Like I saw Bill Maher the other day saying how he's like, oh, there's nothing, like the country's overall, it's not that bad. And it's like, bro, you live in Hollywood. Like
Yeah,
drive
they don't have a
through
fucking perspective of it, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I had $6 or $7 million in my bank account, I'd say, well, things aren't so bad.
aren't-
What are you
exactly.
complaining about?
yeah.
know? We just don't
It's-
have it like that.
Totally. And it's hard sometimes because it's like I go out to shows in downtown and there's like literally if you go to a show at like the Belasco or like 720 or like some of these downtown venues, you're stepping over homeless people, you know, to get to the venue. And it's like it's
Oh yeah,
shitty.
it's like when I was out in San Francisco back in 2020.
Oh,
Man, it was fucking gorgeous there. But I didn't see all the homeless tent cities and stuff that everybody was raving and ranting about. I guess I just didn't hit
Mhm.
those particular areas. But yeah, beautiful place. But I was like, God, they're so fucking expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
San Francisco was bad like 20 years ago. I can only imagine what it's
yeah,
right now. I was out there for some tech conference in like 15 years ago or something. And
yeah,
I was stepping over homeless people on the way to the bar, you know?
yeah. I was talking to the Uber driver I was riding with. He was, we kind of talking about his apartment. I think he was in like a 1 bedroom apartment. It was $3,000 a month, and you got 15 people living in the motherfucker just to be able to survive. I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. Well, I just left New Orleans last week, and I took a road behind the Superdome to ramp up on the interstate. So the interstate's way up here, and all the other roads are down here. So when I was ramping up, you could see up under the interstate just tent,
Yeah.
and they'll plant like a porta potty there for them. But it's an entire community of tents that span the entire length of the interstate, and that place has never been right since Katrina. But that was that was 15 years ago,
Yeah.
right?
Was it that? What was that? 2014?
It was 2005.
No,
Was it
2005,
2000?
somewhere around
Holy
there.
shit, man.
Yeah, that place has never recovered.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean, it
never
was bad
recovered.
before Katrina, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But
it's terrible.
I think to me, it's like the thing that I get into because I get like I'll get into arguments with people online or whatever, and I'm just like breaks down to me like this. It's like it's not a red state or a blue state problem. It's like something we all need to like get together and look at because it's like LA has it, Florida has it.
Well,
Texas.
here's my biggest thing. I just want the government's hands out of fucking everybody's personal life. Period.
I
Point
agree
blank.
with that
Like,
100%.
protect the country, border it up, whatever you got to do. But stay the fuck out of our personal lives.
Totally.
Anything they put their hands on goes to shit anyways. That's my outlook. Burn it all fucking down, reset it as it needs to be because a lot of the financing and the things that they're pushing for could go into other things where we could help the homeless population.
Totally.
But they don't give a fuck about the homeless. They
How
want
much
them to
money
die
did we
off,
dump
in all
into
honesty.
Ukraine this last couple years?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Well, I
where's
mean-
that our fucking problem?
Everything, we're all overpopulated, right? They should focus. I mean, the forced vaccines, the social credit score, which is soon coming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
I was just
not to be a
watching
conspiracy guy, but come on, man.
Dude,
Well,
there's a difference between conspiracy theory and conspiracy factualism. Like there's
Right. Well,
Yeah.
the facts that don't align with the narrative become conspiracy.
well, did you
well,
know
look at
that,
it this way.
Yeah,
Why
go
does the government want so badly to get their hands in the fucking Bitcoin
oh yeah.
and to control it? You're going to tax it like you do your tax statements. Did you enter into any investments for Bitcoin? No, motherfucker, I didn't. That's none of your business. So
It
what are you gonna do?
decentralizes, it takes the power away from the people who have always had control. That's the thing
that's
about
right.
that's the thing about this, like even like new media, internet media.
Yeah.
It's like you see the corporate news media trying to
Yep.
cling to, like now they're trying to censor social media, and like anyone that has a dissenting voice or anything like that is a Russian or whatever. It's like it's
That's
crazy.
right.
It reminds me of like
Everybody's given a label.
yeah, like back in the day, it was like the people that were like, oh, there's if you spin records backwards, they have satanic messages.
Yeah.
It's like those people are like, you're a secret Russian now. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, man, it's wild. It's fucking stupid. Personally, I hate social media as it is. Like, I would not be on it if this band
Yeah.
wasn't a thing. But yeah, everybody's got an opinion, and everybody thinks that they can fucking get away with saying whatever they want to say, and then you try to retaliate, and then suddenly your account's fucking blocked for it.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
that's the thing too, that I, because we talked about, we Joey and I on one of our earlier streams last week, we talked about Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent
Mhm.
got like kicked out of something, and like I'm not even a Ted Nugent fan really, but our take was, yo, if you don't like Ted Nugent, don't buy his records, don't go to
Yeah.
concerts.
You don't have to listen to the guy if you don't like what he's saying. That's the way I see it too, and that's where all this cancel culture shit comes in. And
Yeah,
then, everybody's trying to control free speech, and if you don't agree with what they're saying, then fuck you. You're a Nazi or you're a racist. You're this and you're
exactly.
that. And the
That's
biggest problem is, at some point, if they get their way and it becomes illegal and a law, at some point that law is going to catch up with their beliefs, and then
exactly.
they're going to be on that side of the coin,
Yep.
and nobody's going to be able to say shit.
I
Yeah,
see it.
I'm staying quiet because my political stance is so strong that I might just burn
You know,
everything down around me.
it's funny, man. It's so we should probably wind down anyway. But I will say this: like I'm someone who people would normally consider to the left or whatever you want to call it, right? But like the more I talk to my friends, but I grew up in Utah, so I grew up with like the
Yeah.
hunting class and like I'm
Yeah.
not like anti-gun or like any
Yeah.
of that kind of stuff. But over the last like 5 years, I've seen how similar a lot of my red state friends, people who are
Mhm.
more to the right, more like conservative, we're on the same page on almost everything.
Almost
Right.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
Drill
but
down.
it goes to show you how far left the left has gone. That, I think a good balance. It's all fucking the same wings on the same bird, right?
Yeah.
But to have that middle ground and be balanced, and a level of it comes with personal responsibility from the individual. And people, if they think the government's going to swoop in and save everybody because that's their job, and they honestly believe that they have their best interests in heart. No, it's completely opposite. Just leave us the fuck alone.
It's become like the problem is the government used to be like the counterweight to like corporate power, but now the government is corporate power. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
It's like intertwined. So it's like the agencies and the government that used to regulate corporate power
Right,
are owned by corporate power.
right, right.
So yeah, it's like
Well,
you can't trust
that's
the
like Psaki, fucking Biden's aide, was sitting on stage trying to say that federal power takes precedence over state power. No, it doesn't. The states are supposed to make the laws. The government's supposed to protect the country, and everybody votes therein to have their voices heard and what they want out of their legislation. It's not like that anymore. The government is trying to legislate everything.
Yeah, it's getting to a ridiculous point. And the speech thing is where I draw the line for me, because it's
Right.
like I said, we might not even completely agree politically, but I defend anyone's right to say what they want. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't care what. And like you said, if you don't support that, it will come back around on you eventually.
That's correct.
The people that are like trying to censor people, calling them Nazis or far right
Yep.
or whatever, are eventually going to be the ones that get stomped with that same corporate.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
That's exactly right. That they're
Well,
pushing
it's like if you said something that I didn't like, right? I wouldn't hate you. I wouldn't agree with you, but I wouldn't try and burn down your business, burn
Or
down
end your
everything
career.
that makes you who you are. I would
or
just
end
Yeah,
your
and that's-
career, like throw you off of everything.
Right.
Like basically, like look at what they did to someone like Roseanne. You know,
are. Yeah, I
try to,
know.
like cancel her whole career and stuff. And
Yeah.
like she's a comedian, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe you didn't like what she said, but that doesn't give you a right to like completely
fucking
push her out of society.
Look at Dave Chappelle, man. Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
came up with racist skits and jokes, and everybody laughed back in that day.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to cancel him for it because of this transgender comment. Who gives a fuck, man? You either like it or don't.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
I
that's
think everybody, yeah,
because it's
everybody needs to be able to sit down and have a conversation.
exactly. Like talk about it. That's the thing.
Right.
That's the biggest part of it. Because it's like I was saying, it's like I feel like I've fought this battle since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, it was the PMRC people or the actual right that was trying to censor like metal and rap albums. And now
Yep.
it's those same people are the ones that are trying to censor people, call people Nazis and get them censored,
Yep.
for it's just ridiculous. Anyway.
It is, man. Oh, just look at the condition of Portland, though. Portland has gone this route, right? They want to fucking just give everybody everything they want, I kind of look at it from the movie Bruce Almighty. You know, he's given the powers and he sets up that computer, and everybody's prayers comes through the computer. He just answers yes, answer all the yes, give them everything they want, and then the whole fucking place starts destroying itself. So yeah, I think law is important, but I don't know, man. Too many people are just it's me all the fucking time. Look at me, look what I have. Agree with me.
There's this other thing that I think, like this other thing that I've noticed recently, especially, is like perspectives like that. Like I don't know how bad Portland is. I have some friends that live up there. I'm actually going to be up there in a couple weeks. So
Oh, enjoy it.
but the point I was getting to is like I feel like stuff like that too gets distorted to keep us angry at each other. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, now I need to fight. Like I need to be mad at my neighbor because he's a Trump supporter, or because he's a liberal, or because
Well,
this,
it is
rather
yeah,
than us getting together and going like, hey, we have the same common interests. Like these are the
correct.
people we should be pissed off at.
That's exactly right. And they want it that way because then the government goes, oh, we have the solution for you. Let us help. And
Yeah.
it's we're going to give you this, and we're going to take all of this from you. It's exactly set up that way.
Well, because one of the things I keep hammering on is there's strikes right now going on in Hollywood, right? The writers strike, the actors strike, they're all striking, but the FedEx I think it was UPS was almost about to strike. And I'm like, yo, this is an opportunity. Look, like if the economy is so great, why is everyone striking?
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, what? Let's get together here.
Yep.
Like Hollywood and like working class people. There's a common interest here.
Right.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's a big issue.
that's my thing. The thing I hate the most about politics is it becomes this divisive issue where we're like trying to judge each other instead of going like, what are our commonalities and
Yeah.
how can we
Yeah.
work together to make things better for all of us? You know?
Yeah. Well, I keep hoping for the day where maybe, we'll just split the country in half and all the Democrats can take one side and the Republicans take the other. And we just see who comes out alive.
No,
You know?
but I just that's what I hate though. Like I don't want it to be. It shouldn't be a tribal thing, right? Like it's
It
like
should
you're the
not.
blue team and the red team, and it's like you guys just fight it out. It's like no, we're all on the same team. Like we
That's
just
right.
need to figure out like make it the
Yeah.
purple team.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't think it'll ever come to that, but it does
It
seem
won't.
to be like that's a lot of extremists feel that way. And,
that's like,
it's a funny thought, but
Well,
I don't-
this is one of the things I'm sick of seeing out of bands. You go see on stage and on tour, and they're up there talking about the fucking politics, and the whole time I'm like, shut the fuck up and play your music.
yeah. Like
Like
Filter,
nobody's here to hear
Filter.
your shit. Yeah,
the band
I don't
Filter.
care
I
about what
love
the
them.
fuck you believe. Just fucking goddamn play your songs.
Yeah, that's like Filter. When I saw Filter, I mean, I love Filter. I love their music. I've loved it since I was a kid. But it becomes political in the middle, and I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
Yeah.
I love your music so much. I'm here to watch you play your music. Why are you spewing all this stuff?
well, yeah, your performance is there to take people out of the normal everyday fucking bullshit of the world. But then you're gonna inject it while you're there. Fuck off.
Yeah, we stay out of politics. We stay out of it. I
Yeah.
think this is the first time when we've ever even
Yeah, we really
hinged
talked
on the
about it.
thought of talking about anything.
No, it's cool. I appreciate that. Honestly, it's like because it's hard to have an interesting conversation with people, but it's also like I understand the tendency to like protect yourself from like people that are insane. It's like if you express an opinion that someone doesn't like, all
Yeah,
of a sudden
Yeah.
you alienate people. Where it's like I'm not like that. I try to see all sides of everything, and I definitely have views on either side, and I definitely see a
right.
lot more
And,
commonalities than
yeah,
division.
for us, I just want people to enjoy the music and the songs.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck what I believe?
Right.
I'm not going to go pushing any of that because I, have certain beliefs. But yeah, I don't
And
know.
even if you did, man, even if you did, people that fucking like it and don't care can come see you, and the ones that don't, fuck off.
Yeah, and it's happened. I remember when COVID launched off, and I literally said, "Look, there's too much we do in our everyday lives for us to just shut this fucking country down." And I had some guy
Yeah.
who was a fan, and he was like, "Oh, fuck you! You believe that, the weak are gonna die?" And well, you know what? The weak are probably are gonna die. That's just the nature of fucking life. But at
Yeah.
the same time, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we have to continue and go about our business just as anybody else. And if you're gonna hate me for that, then fuck, see you later.
Yo, I was so surprised to see Brandon Boyd from Incubus say almost the exact, like him and Jamie Josta were talking about being called right wingers for
Mhm.
like,
Jamie Josta.
yeah.
It's my guy, man.
So it's I think COVID changed a lot of people. Like I think COVID quote unquote red pilled a lot of people.
Well, if
yeah,
I think
I can see
that if COVID, if the conspiracy theories are true on COVID, I think that it backfired for the ones that made it happen. You know, because COVID was supposed to divide, but we all kind of come together on the fact that and all of our opinions, I think that COVID kind of broke a boundary between people in terms of, hey, maybe we should take a further look into what we're leading blindly into.
Yep,
You know,
definitely.
it needs to be looked at that way because, again, I'm not going to go do something because you tell me to. And I'll tell you this much: if the government's pushing me to do it, I'm probably not going to fucking do it.
Of
No.
course. It's
Not
like,
at all.
oh man, it's so crazy. Like there's all these, there's all this historical precedent for that too. People talked about like the Tuskegee experiment. You know, you're from
Mhm.
Alabama.
Yes,
Silas.
and I hear about that a lot.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I remember when because I had to get the jab for work, and the guy behind me was like, "Can you just dribble it down my arm?" I was just like, man, I'm
That's the
with
way I
this.
would have been like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. I guess I'm losing my job. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't trust it, man. You
I
push
got
that hard about something. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I ended up losing the job too, so it was like I totally regret it. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go.
J and J one though, I didn't get the mRNA, so I'm not. But we have to be we have to be careful about what we say on this stream. Like we can just shut off.
Yeah. Well,
The
and
vaccine
I've
is
got a
safe
good
and
friend of
effective,
mine.
100% vaccine, safe and effective. Get it, be safe. I just have to say
So
that.
I've got like nurse friends and people I know in the medical field, and they were saying that the Johnson & Johnson was actually the best one to take because the Moderna and stuff, it was known. I remember them having like issues with mercury being in it and fucking all these different things that they're putting into your body. And I'm seeing these reports where you got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds just fucking dropping dead in the middle of doing something more strenuous with no pre-existing conditions or anything. And I'm like, all right, nobody's talking about this.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you look at the records of it, and it's happening a lot.
it's
But
curious to say the least.
yeah, man, look at it. That's my thing. Is I'm a firm believer. Do your own research. Stop regurgitating some bullshit that somebody else says. Go look at it yourself. No matter what you believe in.
I mean, that's the point. What you just said when I started getting really skeptical, when people were like, "Don't just do your own research, dummy." I'm like, like that's reading. Like, you don't want me to read
Right.
up on a subject that like
No,
that's insane.
yeah, they want you to blindly follow, and you can't trust that. You can never trust that.
Yeah, I've never been one of those people. I've always been very critically. I also worked in marketing, so I think it's like everything I see, I'm like, what is this fucker trying to sell me?
That's right. That's right. It's a good outlook, and that's what they're doing. They're just trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
So snake
And
oil.
Follow the money too.
Yeah,
In a lot of cases, is all you need to do. Well, and working in advertising, I used to work in ad sales, and you would get these annual reports of where all the ad budget is, right? Guess where most of it is? Pharmaceuticals and health.
Exactly.
So if
every time you go, oh, here we got a pill for this.
Yeah, and
doctor,
it's like,
my dick stopped working. Oh, we got a pill for that.
Don't eat better and exercise. Just take this.
Well, what about a diet? Just give me a diet plan.
Yeah, totally. Well, man, honestly, I gotta wind down because I have shit to do.
Yep.
But
yeah, we got to get to it though.
Thank you guys for sticking on and chatting with us and like and being unafraid to express yourselves because that's rare. I know, like when you're in a band and stuff, a lot of times you got to be a lot careful. But
I'm trying to get canceled. That's my whole problem, but it just doesn't seem to work. I don't know why.
Yeah. It's probably not a bad idea. I mean, it's like,
I've enjoyed this. I followed Brutal Planet magazine for a long time. So when Raquel mentioned it, I was like, hell yeah, we're doing that.
Appreciate that.
I've enjoyed the content for a long time. So
fuck yeah, man. Well, that's awesome of you to say that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
because we hope that our audience are like legit fucking metal fans and people that, and we also hope to elevate bands that are maybe not quite as well known, to people that. So
yeah, everything helps in this climate, man. It really does. So
that's our biggest thing.
I've enjoyed the interview too. So
that's our biggest thing is exposure, man. Exposure. It's hard. It's hard to find. It's hard to reach. So
yeah, And I feel like this kind of stuff too, like just to give you an example, we talked to CJ from Drowning Pool a couple of weeks ago, and I knew the song bodies, of course, who doesn't,
Right.
but like I didn't really like care that much about Drowning Pool. And then talking to CJ made me go like, wow, I really want to dig these. They got some heavy shit.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I love Drowning Pool. Ryan McCombs is
Man,
the lead singer of Soil that did a lot of work with Drowning Pool, and it's now with Drowning
he's
Pool
back with
again.
them. Have you heard that track they
I
have
love
called
it.
Mind Right? They have this song called Mind Right, this new song.
Yeah.
One, but I don't know how new it is, like a year ago.
Oh man. I mean,
It's
the best Drowning Pool has great tunes. Their best stuff is deep tracks that never hit radio that you'd have to buy the record to listen. And that's what I did when I was younger.
yeah.
I love that band. And
And
badass live.
I would not have known
Incredible.
that had I not had the opportunity to talk to CJ and like get to like kind of chat with him and go like, wow, this guy's a motherfucker. I'm going to dig into their discography.
Right.
And I think hopefully a lot of other people do that, you know, when they see the interview, if they haven't already, but
yeah.
Well,
That's
they
the
should
thing
do
with
it.
Drowning. Well, that's the thing with Drowning Pool. You get 3 or 4 songs that have hit radio that you know. You're like, oh, I like those songs, and then you move on. But they never bought the album,
yeah.
you know. And man, there's tons of shit on there that is just incredible. But I was younger too, so I was like, oh, this is the heaviest thing I've ever heard at that time. So
that is the thing too. Like with that's good about streaming, I think, is it's like at least you can you don't have to go out and buy the record. You're like, oh, I'm gonna jump into this band's discography right now, and I can just load up Spotify and do that.
Yep. I had a lot of downloaded Drowning Pool.
Brian,
I don't buy streaming, but what I'll do is I'll go check out something on like a streaming format. And if I like it, then I'm going to go click and order the product.
Yeah, old
I don't
school
want
days,
to buy
man.
pixels. I don't want to,
Right.
because if everything crashes, I don't have anything anymore.
yeah.
So I want a physical product.
I'm with that. I still have like a couple terabytes worth of MP3s on a drive. And I have a wall full of CDs too, but
Me too.
Yeah.
But the I have a lot of vinyl too, but the streaming thing is convenient. I will give it that.
Yes.
That is the one benefit.
It's very convenient. Well, it's done away with radio too. You know, now you
Yeah.
can go build your own playlist, and that's all you want to listen to. So radio's not
Totally.
anymore.
And to that point, man, that's the thing I think where shows like ours can hopefully help out, because we don't have a Headbangers Ball anymore. It's like when I want to hear new bands, I used to go to Headbangers Ball or like something like that. Some kind of
and that was the thing. If you were on MTV, your ass was at the big top. So
yeah. But I do think that I like the climate in music right now, because it's much easier for a band that's like maybe of more of a humble means to come up. You know, because the technology to record is so readily available to everyone, and the distribution is easy.
Which is also a problem, because you know now everybody can do it.
True.
And then you swim through a bunch of bullshit to find a gym.
Right, but as we said before, the cream rises. Even though it's like a fire hose, I feel like the more legit acts, the bands that are really putting out good material will rise to the top, right?
Well, I hope that the Macho Man was right. You know, I hope he was right, because it did. And you gotta look out for us, because we're kind of jaded. I mean, we are so jaded. We have been we've had so many offers and things, and this is going to be it. This is going to be it. So it's kind of tough for us, and we're kind of demented in our thought process. But I hope that you're right.
You guys just got to get out there and hammer it out. That's another thing that I noticed, like about a band like Metallica, right? Is it's like they paid their dues over and over. Like they spent years hammering it out in the trenches, playing clubs and shaking everyone's hands. And it's like, there's a lot of real value in that, in just that aspect of the PR of being in a band, of going out and playing a good show and then shaking all your fans' hands and whatever. You do that for 10 years, like you'll have an unshakable fan base, you know?
That's right. That's right. So,
yeah. And the thing with us is we try and get very personal with our fans, just like with the pre-orders on Facebook, Instagram. I mean, people reach out all the time. We always respond. We always try and build relationships with people. And, you know, I mean, they genuinely love what we do. So we
as much as time allocates anyway.
Yeah.
It's you know, we're limited on what we can do.
I mean, I'm ready for you guys to roll through Texas. So
We're trying.
Yeah, we
Damn.
so spring of next year, it's a very, very high probability we'll be doing probably 2 or 3 shows in Texas. We're getting that kind of lined up right now with the Motley Crue tribute band. So
Nice. Brian is a photographer, by the way. So
awesome. Well, come snatch the photos too. We'll pay you.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, I don't just shoot music. I do news, sports, and entertainment. So, I'm shooting a show tonight.
Yeah.
So, but it's not
Awesome.
Metallica.
damn it.
You guys want to know who I'm photographing tonight?
Who?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see Jesse's girl out in the audience.
Rick Springfield?
Yeah.
Rick Springfield.
Oh.
So Rick Springfield, the Hooters,
the Hooters.
It's like I want my 80s tour.
That's
And
awesome.
There we go.
They're playing the Dickies Arena, which is it's being talked about as being the most profitable arena in the world.
Hmm.
I mean, I saw that in the news like in the last couple of weeks. So yeah,
What was the Hooters big hit? All You People or something like that?
I don't know.
All
But
these
it's like,
people.
oh, and Tommy Two Tone's on there, a Texan's on there.
867-5309.
Nice.
Yeah, and then some guy named
Rick
Paul
Springfield's a
Young or
pimp.
something like that.
Yes, he is.
So
If you ever watched Californication, you would know.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Oh man, the old TV show with David Duchovny,
I
California.
know the show, but I didn't know the Rick Springfield tie-in.
Oh yeah, he was on there. Yeah.
Okay. I just know Susan Sarandon's hot daughter was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show should have just been labeled as a porno. There's 2 or 3 sex scenes in every scene and every take. I watched it years ago, and then me and my chick were watching it. And I'm like, oh shit.
There's a
And
lot.
I was a single guy back then, so I was looking for the good in it. She's like, this is a porno. I was like,
Back when his dick
can't
worked.
yeah, back when I worked just right.
He's like, now I know why.
I was
why
like,
you-
oh, this is why I love this show. But there's a deeper meaning to it.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for spending the time
Yep.
today, man.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
And everyone pick up the record or stream it on September 22nd. It'll be available everywhere.
That's right.
All right, man. And you guys come back through, man. Once you're out on
Yeah.
tour next year, come through and promote shit. Come jump on
Absolutely.
again and chat with us, man. We really enjoyed it.
We'll do it. If you want to do something closer to the Whiskey a Go-Go, man, let me know.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Come on. That's in October, right?
Yeah, October 15th.
It's
Perfect.
a Sunday night.
Awesome. Yeah, that's not too far away. Like a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. If you want to do it, we'll sit down and do a live one there at the Whiskey if you want.
That'll be nice.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, I have the equipment to do that. One of the things we've been doing when we started this is trying to I want to get it to the point where we can reinvest and maybe have the ability to do live, interviews on the scene and stuff. And
Yeah.
I have the stuff to do it. I just don't know what the quality would be. For me, I like doing this live thing on Zoom because when it's done,
Yeah.
I can just download it from YouTube and throw it into Final Cut
Right.
and cut it up into segments.
Yeah.
So,
It should
yeah.
be the same thing. You just do it on a cell phone if you need to.
yeah, we'll figure it out. It might be
Yeah.
cool to do a live interview too.
It's true though. I do interviews too, so I know exactly what you mean. I've got my own interview thing called the Noir Hour on YouTube. And I
Awesome.
also do radio too. So but I get it. I've thought about doing live interviews, and it's terrifying because oh my god, how am I going to make this work on a cell phone or whatever? But
You're always worried
Yeah.
about the technology crashing on you.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, or you're on a backstage, and then all of a sudden the light's bad and the signal cuts out, and you've wasted
Yep.
everybody's time, and you feel like an asshole.
You don't have the
Right.
recording
Yeah.
backup.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Long term though, the art I would love to have a situation where we have an actual studio here in LA, maybe one in Salt Lake and one in Texas, where we can just have people come in and sit down for a minute in a live environment. There's a lot of these pro podcasts where they have high def cameras in the studio and stuff, but we're pretty low budget right now. Just
Yeah. It's good,
Yeah.
man.
We
It's
all
all
are.
about the interview anyway. So
yeah, the content's good and that's what matters.
Yep.
So thanks
Someday,
again, guys.
but
yep.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dustin.
thank
We'll
you,
see
man.
Thank you,
We'll see
Brian.
you soon, man. We'll talk
You're
again.
welcome, sir.
Absolutely.
Sounds good, guys.
All right,
Take
take
care,
care.
everybody.
Be safe.
Signing off, Brutal Planet.